Hey gang, what's up? Welcome back here to another edition of The Fishing Teacher, and really appreciate you guys watching today's video. And guys, today we're going to have sort of just a wide-ranging discussion on bass. A little bit about them. I'm going to tell you guys, a little bit about their personality, a little bit about what you can expect out of them. And we're probably going to have more of these type of conversations because here on The Fishing Teacher, this channel is geared for the people, starting out in fishing, not necessarily beginners, but people that don't have a lot of experience. And I think some of this basic information is really critical to know, and it's also a good refresher course if you guys, have fished a little bit, know a little bit about bass fishing. Okay, guys, here's some basic stuff that you need to know about bass in general, as far as to understand where to look for them at, and sort of understand some of the things that motivate them to, do what they do and bite or not bite. First of all, guys, a bass is an incredibly effective predator. They can survive in such a wide range of conditions, it's unbelievable. I mean, they can survive in water visibility that's 50 feet clear, or water visibility that's an inch clear, and everything in between. They can survive in water temperatures that are, where the water's frozen over on the surface, and they can survive in 100 degree water temperature, wide range of oxygen levels. They are survivors, man, and they perpetuate their species under some extremely adverse conditions. Guys, I've seen bass spawn on tree limbs over 60 foot of water before. It's like, a lot of times you'll think it's like, well, maybe this lake doesn't have a lot of good spawning habitat. They will find a way. It's just incredible how they can do it. And let me tell you guys a little story about how adaptive and how tough a bass is. I had a 40-acre lake about 15-20 years ago that I was fortunate enough to be able to manage and take care of and observe and everything. And one of the things I did when I bought this place, the lake was completely grown over with lily pads. It was choked out completely with lily pads. You couldn't even see water on the thing in the summer. So I drained the pond out, and I left about maybe a half acre of water in the entire 40-acre lake that was maybe 2 foot deep. Just a little bitty. It was basically, I didn't even intend on leaving it there, but I was going to drain the whole pond out and take the fish away and give them away or whatever. But anyway, I couldn't get all the water out of it, and about a half acre of water stayed in it. It was super shallow. And so I spent the next year with cleaning it out, bulldozing the pads out and everything. And during this course of working on this, that little half acre of water froze over solid. It was baking 100 degrees in the summer. I could see some bait fish activity once in a while, but I even made a few casts in there and didn't catch anything. And guys, when we filled that pond up, I've told this story a couple times before, but when we filled that pond up a year later, the first fishing trip that I made in my boat, once the pond was full, Brent Chapman was with me, Pro Brent Chapman. We caught like a 25-pound bag of fish after that thing filled up. Those fish survived in that super, super adverse condition. I thought everything had died. So they are just incredible survivors. And one of the things that will help you as far as catching bass out there is just to know how opportunistic they are. A bass will bite anything. I mean, literally anything that they think they can catch and get in their mouth and eat, they will bite it. I don't care if it's an animal, if it's a bird, if it's a turtle, whatever. They're going to eat it if they can. So from that standpoint, realize that when you're fishing for bass, you're fishing for predators, and the things that make them bite is a big mystery a lot of times, because I have observed bass before in lakes and in ponds and in tanks and everything like that, and a lot of times you'll have perch and shad and everything, crawdads, they'll be swimming all around a bass, and the bass won't even pay attention to them, and the next minute, like out of nowhere, they'll come up and just grab one. So you don't ever know when a fish is going to feed. But one of the things that will help you catch fish and trigger fish into biting is to capitalize on the reaction strike or the reaction reflex of the fish. In my opinion, this is the number one thing that you have to remember as far as catching fish consistently, is you have to trigger fish to hit through a reaction. And that is why baits that move fast work good under tough fishing conditions. When you're fishing a crankbait really fast, or spinnerbait fast, or topwater fast, or anything that you can reel through the water column at a pretty moderate to fast speed, chatterbait, whatever, you trigger that reaction strike because a fish does not have time to study what that is. They either have to get it or let it go past them. They have a split second to decide, do I want to eat that or not eat that? And that a lot of times, just out of that instinct, they'll come up and pound on that. So when fishing's tough, a lot of times, try using those reaction baits. The other flip side of the coin is when fishing is tough a little bit, is downsize and use very, very small stuff, because a lot of times a fish doesn't want to expend a lot of energy chasing a big meal like a 5 or 6 inch shad. But if they see a little inch long crawdad, a little tidbit down there, a lot of times they'll suck it up because it doesn't require any energy. So that's why a bait like a Ned rig or a small plastic worm is pretty productive under tough fishing conditions. But anyway, that's just a few wide ranging thoughts. We'll be doing a lot of stuff like this on bass behavior. It's really going to help you guys out to know more, as much as you can about it. So we'll talk later. See you.